And we're delighted now to be joined by Fianna Fáil candidate here for Carlow Kilkenny, Peter Chap Cleere, and his colleague, Councillor Joe Sheridan, who's a councillor in the Callan Thomastown Municipal District. Peter, or Chap, whatever way we want, what to be called. It's looking good. 6,660 votes on the tallies. Now we're hopefully going to have a first count soon. You must be very, very pleased with your first outing in a general election.
Yeah, look, the obviously the tallies, we need to get the exact first count first, and look, when there's 20 candidates in the field, it makes it very, very competitive. And look, it's going to be an absolute dogfight for the last couple of seats, but we're in with a chance, and we put a huge amount of work in, of a fantastic group of canvassers and family and friends and people that put up posters and knocked on doors, and it was a huge effort. And look, hopefully over the next 24 hours or so we'll get a clearer picture as to how things lie.
Exactly, and it's Carlow Kilkenny. It is a big constituency. I know, but there was three candidate strategy. You broke it up by area, but even at that, it's still a huge portion of land to cover.
Yeah, it's a massive area, and I suppose I wouldn't have been helped by the fact that our convention was held a little bit later. You know what I mean? It was. I think the first week in October before we had our convention, which was a bit frustrating because we were chomping at the bit to get going, and then when the election was called we needed a 3-week window, but we gave it absolutely everything, worked day and night, brilliant team of people around me, and look, I said to you, it's over our hands now. It's over to the people, and look, transfers will decide, I think, come the end of the day.
And absolutely. And what were the big issues when you were knocking on doors?
Yeah, the big issues, I suppose, housing is obviously a big issue, in particular affordable housing for younger people, to give them an opportunity to get on the ladder. So that message was heard loud and clear. And also in terms of I suppose those less fortunate, those disability, the means test was a big issue as well, and can we do something there for carers? So there were two things that came up a good bit on the doors. I suppose on the other side of it, there was a huge welcome in terms of us calling, because of the fragmented nature of it, in the sense that such a big area, and it was dark at 5 o'clock. People were really appreciative of us calling and saying hello, and that was felt loud and clear as well. So
absolutely, and as we said, it's only a tally, but the tallies here in Kilkenny, they are generally a fairly good indication. It's been a number of years since Fianna Fáil had 3 seats in this constituency, but Carlow Kilkenny seems to be a stronghold still for Fianna Fáil as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to look at the local elections for that, I mean, we ran 12 candidates and we won 11. Our own municipal district was very, very strong, and with some brilliant councillors and candidates around, and that footprint is there, which is really important. But I suppose, look, when it comes to seats and seat allocation, look, we'll just have to see what happens. You know what I mean? It's going to be very difficult for us to get the 3 seats, but we have a chance, and we're at the dinner table, and we'll see what happens.
Exactly, it's all down to transfers. And Councillor Joe Sheridan, you've been working with Chap over the last number of years, and particularly in the last few weeks. How have you found canvassing with Chap Cleere for this general election?
Sure, look, to be honest with you, I was delighted to go canvassing with Chap. It was very, very positive at the door. Look, he's well known, and I suppose he's been a councillor for 10 years, and he's been in so many committees, he's helped out so many people. So, to be honest with you, it was easy enough. Any door we went to him was very, very positive, really, really positive. So it's delighted for Chap. I mean, to get, I know they're only tallies, but to get over 6,500 votes it's incredible. Especially like when you're talking about 3 Fianna Fáil strong Fianna Fáil candidates running. To get that kind of a vote it's tremendous,
Exactly, and you were you're newly elected to Kilkenny County Council. The last time we spoke was at the last count, which would have been the local election. How have the last number of months been on Kilkenny County Council?
Yeah, look, they've been very busy. They've been everything. Actually, the phone is going the whole time. But they have been. Look, they're challenging. It's rewarding. Bit daunting at times. A lot to learn. But look, I've said it a few times. Chap has been really, really helpful to me to get in, because look, you're learning the whole time as I go in there. I'm only there, 6 or 7 months, and I'd say, it'd probably take maybe a year, 2 years really to really get in the hang of things. But it's always helpful to have people that's probably there for so long that you can always pick up the phone, give them a ring, and they'll steer you in the right direction. It's fierce important, you know.
Absolutely. And I'm going to hand you over to my colleague Paidi Manning, so brace yourself.
Sound like an apprenticeship there, Joe. You're doing it.
It certainly is.
You're serving your time.
I am indeed.
Does he crack the whip now? Is he a tough taskmaster?
You know, if you stay on the right side of him, I suppose he's all right.
There
you
you
know.
go. Chap, I was talking to John Paul Phelan last night, and he said all the years he campaigned, he was never nervous the night before a vote. He got nervous when the polls closed. That's when he found it. You can do no more, like, doesn't it? You can't influence it. Were you a little shaky last night when the exit poll came out?
Yeah, definitely. And look, as I said to you, it's as I described to some of their East, it's like the leave certificate. You know, you've worked so hard for it, and then you do the exam or the people go to the polls, and after that it's out of your hands. But unlike the leaving cert, everybody gets to see your result, and everybody gets to see whether you were successful or if you're not so successful. So it definitely was nerve-wracking. It definitely was on edge a little bit. I suppose the fear of the unknown. But sure, that's why you do these things. You know, you put yourself out there. These are experiences that are character building and that'll stand with you for the rest of your life. So look, I was happy that once the campaign finished and we stopped knocking on doors, that we'd done everything we could. And after that, it's over to the people, and that's the great thing about living in a democracy. The people will decide.
Just forgot what I was going to say next. That's sad.
Like you to be stuck.
This is live TV, folks. You had a crowded field down there in that your council colleague Michael Doyle was running very close to you. So you have a crowded patch, and probably going to become more crowded with the emergence of Sceoch Fáisí and future candidate Holly Cleere.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, I suppose the one thing, in terms of the makeup of this particular election is you 20 candidates from all parties and none, and a lot of new parties in there, and I suppose that leaves it very fragmented in terms of votes and percentages and things like that. So it really, I said, the transfers will be really interesting over the next couple of days. Yeah, as you mentioned, Holly, one of my children, a few of them came out canvas with me, and they were fantastic.
Miss Wims and Sceoch Fáisí was canvas, and apparently your daughter did an excellent job.
Yeah, no, exactly. Should have said we'd be, they wanted somewhere to live next week. You know what I mean? So, but in fairness to the girls, they've been fantastic, and we give them dispensations. One of them is doing her exams this week in Burris, and we told her, don't worry about the results, just come out and knock on a few doors for her. So they were great. They were a huge help and huge support, as was all the team. And as I said to you, we left it all out on the pitch, and whatever happens now will be, and I'm happy and content that we give it our all, and it's out of my hands now, so what will be.
Ivan Yates tipped Fianna Fáil to get 3 seats in this area, and he put it down to the vote management strategy of Fianna Fáil. What was the vote management strategy of Fianna Fáil in Carlow, Kilkenny?
Oh, I couldn't tell you that now, Paidi, but let's just say it was an experience.
Hell, Flair, hammer and togs.
Yeah, look, sure, everybody's out. I wasn't trying to take anybody else's seat. I was just trying to win my seat, and the other candidates trying to win their seats, and the people ultimately decide. So it's challenging when you've got 2 incumbent TDs. It makes it very difficult for a new person to come in and I suppose state their case. But I think we did that very well, and we're very honest the whole way throughout the campaign, and we were very. We ran a very, very good, honest campaign, and whatever happens now happens.
Joe, I mentioned the apprenticeship in jest earlier, and the taskmaster. You're your own man on the council. You're a councillor in your own right. How do you find this general election as your first time canvassing as a councillor in a general election?
Sure. Look, I suppose I've over the years I've probably canvassed for a good few other people. So I suppose the only difference now is when you go to the door, especially around my own area, in my own constituency, I suppose people are talking to me. I'm after getting a lot more jobs, I'll tell you, over the last 3 weeks, I can tell you that. Yeah, obviously it's different. As a councillor, people are talking about issues that they have and they'd like me to address. So yeah, when I canvassed doors, I was probably a lot slower than anyone else because people were talking to me as a councillor. So yeah, there was a big difference regard being a councillor. But I enjoyed every bit of it, and to be honest with you, I thought it was good because I was getting back out there again and meeting people. Like, I met everyone through my own campaign as for the council, but to get out again and meet people again was a good thing as well.
In a very short space of time.
Yeah, look, it was tough. The time of the year was tough because in the winter time, so you're trying to do your bit during the day, and then the evenings times then. It was short, and people don't like knocking on doors probably when it gets dark. So yeah, that was a challenge. The time of the year it was, for sure. I suppose for the local election, it was so much easier because you could canvass away until whatever time, 8 o'clock in the night, and it was bright and the weather was good. So, but look, I enjoyed it. I definitely did. I was glad to be part of it. Glad to help Chap. And I'd be delighted to see him in. I know if he gets, and I'm pretty confident that he will. And if he does, I know he'd make a great TD, and he'd be a great addition to Carlow Kilkenny.
Chap Cleere TD sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Look, we'll try and get through the next 24 hours. I said to you, it was look, to come third, we'll say, in terms of first preference was great, but huge amount of work to do.
Phenomenal for a first-time candidate in a general election.
Yeah, it's great, especially with two incumbents ahead of us as well. I mean, Fianna Fáil 1, 2 and 3 in terms of first preference is great. But look, it's to translate that into seats now, and that's where it's going to get, as Roy Keane said, we're in the squeaky bum time now, so we'll see how things go over the next 24 hours.
We actually have a surprise. Roy Keane's about to pop out, right? I'm going to pass you back to Paul there.
Well, Peter, Chap Cleere, thanks a million for taking the time to talk to us here on the Irish Political Roundup, and thank you as well to Councillor Joe Sheridan, and we wish you every success for the rest of the account. And who knows, Peter Cleere TD, we might be saying that in a few days' time. You're welcome. Thanks, Willie.